Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This is the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is a canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
Condemned acts of violence, oppression, injustice, and slavery, including those committed against Indigenous people. This is how the communique issued jointly by the Dicasteries of Culture and Education and Service to Integral Human Development began. In the statement, the Vatican opposes the so-called Doctrine of Discovery. They call it a misuse of the Church's teachings between the 16th and 19th centuries, used to justify seizing lands and belongings from Indigenous peoples by twisting papal documents that did not allow it. The communique continued, stating, "Many Christians have committed evil acts against Indigenous people. Recent popes have asked for forgiveness for these acts on numerous occasions." The dicasteries note that recent dialogue with Indigenous people, especially those who are Catholic, have helped the Church understand the suffering involved in the loss of their lands, which they consider a sacred gift from God and their ancestors. Many Indigenous people also suffered from the assimilation policies implemented by governments during that time. On his trip to Canada last year, Pope Francis asked forgiveness for the participation of some members of the Church.
Estoy profundamente dolido. Pido perdón por la manera en la que lamentablemente muchos cristianos adoptaron la mentalidad colonialista de las potencias que oprimieron a los pueblos indígenas.
Cardinal José Tolentino de Mendoza, prefect of the Dicastery for Culture and Education, stated that the Church is building an architecture of reconciliation. Cardinal Michael Zerny, prefect of the Dicastery for Promoting Integral Human Development, added that the Church rejects any word or action that does not recognize human dignity. The U.S. and Canadian bishops' conferences have also expressed their views on the Dicastery's statement. The Canadian bishops welcome the Church's endorsement of the principles of the United Nations and the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. The U.S. bishops have asked for prayers and healing for those who continue to suffer from the legacy of colonialism.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. I have with me my brother, Big Dog Philly OG. And this evening, we want to discuss the Pope, the Vatican, denouncing the doctrine of discovery. Before we get started, one thing that we need to not fall for is a symbolic gesture. We're tired of symbolic gestures. If you're going to do a gesture, it should be a gesture that we can put our hands on. We don't want statues built in commemoration for what was done to us. Now, this, the doctrine of discovery was used to justify colonialism. Nearly 500 years after papal decrees were used to rationalize Europe's colonial conquests, the Vatican repudiated these decrees on Thursday, saying the doctrine of discovery that was used to justify snuffing out indigenous people's culture and livelihood, they said it's not a part of Catholic faith. The doctrine was invoked as a legal and religious standing by Europeans who discovered new lands and violently seized it from people who have been living there for generations. It has been cited in different arenas for centuries, included, the U.S. Supreme Court as early as 1823 and as recent as 2005. The statement repudiates the very mindset and worldview that gave rise to the original papal bulls. The Reverend David McCollum, Executive Director of the Program for Discerning Leadership based in Rome, told NPR, it renounces the mindset of cultural or racial superiority, which allow for that objectification of subjection of people, and strongly condemns any attitudes or actions that threaten or damage the dignity of human people, of the human person. Here's a brief guide to the discovery doctrine and why the Vatican move is historic. Now, before we go into that, Big Dog, you want to tap in?
Nah, go ahead, brother. I'll wait.
Okay. The doctrine came from papal bulls in the 15th century. The doctrine was laid out in a series of papal bulls or decrees. The first one was issued in 1452. They authorized colonial powers such as Spain and Portugal to seize land and subjugate people in Africa and the New World as long as the people on the lands were not Christians. Scholars widely noted three bulls: Pope Nicholas V Dum Diversus, that's 1452, and Romanus Pontifex, 1455, and Pope Alexander VI Inter Caetera, 1493. Later popes revoked the decrees, but by that time the damage was done. The papal bulls were not considered valid just 30 to 40 years after they were issued. They were in fact abrogated legally and nullified by the Vatican by the late 1530s, McCollum told NPR. The Vatican nullification was too late to stop the destructive impact of colonialism, McCollum said, noting that European expansions were fueled by a sort of missionary sense that the Western monarchies had a right to go to these lands and take them from, or take their resources, and if necessary, put them down, including enslaving them. We have to notice that they said the new land, which is our land, as the song say, from California to the New York island, it's our land. It's the song. This land is your land, this is my land, our land. And it said Africa and the new land. The doctrine made its way into the U.S. legal system. That's when the classification and the reclassification and the reclassification, you could say that probably 10, 12 times over. Back in the 19th century, it was used as a precedent which gave people a sense of title to land that had not been owned with an official title and deed, McCollum said. So what began as a religious decree in the 1400s then became the basis for a legal concept in the U.S. When the doctrine of discovery was invoked in an 1823 U.S. Supreme Court ruling, the indigenous people had only rights to occupancy, not ownership, over lands that they have long lived on. The land then was open for the taking. And that's a unwritten law today with the redlining, the rezoning, and and even the predatory lending when it comes to certain people getting land. Now, as a result of this being written into American poverty law or property law, You really can call it the poverty law. It was actually considered a precedent, McCollum said, including citations as recent as 2005, case in upstate New York involving the Oneida Indian Nation. Indigenous groups have long sought the repudiation. Indigenous advocates have previously called on the Catholic Church to issue a formal repudiation of the doctrine, saying personal apologies fell short given the magnitude of the policy's effect. Last year, the Pope stunned observers when he personally apologized to Teller Bentacoza, a youth delegate with the Assembly of First Nations who lives in British Columbia, for the Catholic Church role contributing to years of suffering. Bentacoza welcomed the Pope's action, but she noted the irreparable harm done to her culture by centuries of subjugations into the family like her own by decades of forced assimilation, and she called on Francis to renounce doctrine of discovery. Months later, the Pope apologized to indigenous peoples for the systemic abuse inflicted upon Native children at Catholic residential schools, but he stopped short of formally rescinding the doctrine. What did the Vatican say about the doctrine? Invoking the Christian mandate to respect the dignity of every human being, the Vatican said on Thursday, the Catholic Church therefore repudiate those concepts that fail to recognize the inherent human rights of indigenous peoples, including what has become as the illegal and political doctrine of slavery or doctrine of discovery. The church also said it stands with indigenous peoples now and strongly supports the UN Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, which it says can help protect indigenous rights as well as improving living conditions and development in a way that respects their identity, language, and culture. The Vatican also invoked the Pope's words from his visit to Canada last year. Never again can the Christian community allow itself to be infected by the idea that one culture is superior to others, or that it is legitimate to employ ways of coercing others. Now, the priest welcomes the Vatican statement. What was significant today is that the way the statement repudiates the very mindsets and worldviews that gave rise to the original papal bulls, McCollum said, it renounces the mindset of culture or racial superiority, which allowed for the objectification or subjugation of people, and strongly condemns any attitudes or actions that threaten or damage the dignity of any human persons. This is what was said by Pope Francis, and the priest welcomed the Vatican's in the Pope's statement. I don't know what's going to come of it, but they did denounce doctrine of discovery. And the doctrine of discovery is, it's like the same thing with the false story, the Christopher Columbus thing about discovering the new land and the new world. You're going to discover something with people already here. People were here already. How can you discover something when you have a whole nation of people already occupying and was living on the land for generations? But the doctrine of discovery, as long as the people wasn't Christians, people in Spain and Portugal were able to actually take the land, enslave the people, or even kill the people to get the land. OG?
Yeah, I'm here, my brother. Much love, much respect to everybody. Basically, to me, we need to be using these people information against them. I from that article, I think they're still trying to take away our rights and privileges here in this country, because they're talking about the indigenous people, but they ain't letting people, the world know where the indigenous people that they're talking about. So it's like, why these people is admitting their guilt. We need to hold them to accountable to the crimes that they done to humanity. And I'm gonna rest there.
Yes, sir. And it's not ironic, brother, that Pope Francis gave this statement. Meanwhile, you have John Leguizamo spewing his foolishness, trying to step in and line his people up with our history as indigenous people. The statements he made on several platforms saying that Latinos are the oldest group in America, the biggest group in America, built America, and all the atrocities that we suffered and all the accomplishments we had. John Leguizamo put those on Latinos at the same time as the Pope, who's a Latino person, came and said, these things about the doctrine of discovery and mentioning indigenous people. See, again, we have to watch ourselves when we be so inclusive. Now, if it wasn't for like a Spike Lee, many of us won't even know John Leguizamo. He's known for like Spike Lee movies. And he's a comedian who's not all that funny, but he's out here lining himself and his people up in our history, because with this statement that Pope Francis made, the Vatican made, that's we can fight for reparation from the Vatican, because they allowed all this to happen all over the world, at least in Africa and the U.S. They owe reparations. The Vatican does, with the doctrine of discovery, because they go around discovering stuff that people already occupying and taking people land, killing them off, or trying to enslave them. Because that was the thing. They were trying to enslave people. Everybody wasn't enslaved, but they were trying to, but they just couldn't get it because we were fighting. So they just said, well, we're not going to be able to enslave these people. We might as well give that up. But what we're going to do, we're going to indoctrinate the shit out of them with some false history, with some false religion, with some false everything.
And that's why our people think the slave narrative, because of that doctrine of discovery.
Exactly. So the thing is, with the doctrine of discovery, they did it here in Africa. They did it in both places.
Yes, sir.
They went over and they told us to go back somewhere we never been to. And they tried to tie the two together. To make us think that, okay, we're from another place. We came over here on boats, and to tell us to go back somewhere we never been. Some of our people been here since the inception. Yet we have others saying they built America when we built America. Because if you built America, John Leguizamo, why couldn't your people build Colombia? Why couldn't your people build the country? Look at Mexico. Mexico don't look like Arizona, California, or Texas. You keep screaming that those used to be Mexico. Okay. Look at Mexico. You still have what they call Mexico. Why doesn't Mexico look like these aforementioned states? If you claim you built something, why didn't you build that? You constantly want to come here to the US after all the fighting was done and we built America. We designed cities, founded cities, some of the largest cities, one of us founded it. And they changed the pronunciation and the enunciation of the names, because a lot of these, I'm going to say not a lot of them, most of them was named or Indian names. All of them, Indian names. Chicago, Indian names. Oklahoma, all these Indian names. You name these states, you have Indian names. They just change how they pronounce the names and change the way they spelled the names to throw us off. But we're going to see what else happens when it comes to, because to denounce something really is like going past seeing something terrible going on, shaking your head and saying how much a shame it is, and then you're just moving on. It's what you do after you denounce something, when you discover that wrong has been done to people. You just can't denounce the wrong that's done to people. You have to make that better. You have to do something. Pope Francis, Vatican, you have to do something. You got to right that wrong. And it's a whole lot of wrong to be right. Almost 500 years of wrong that need to be right.
And like I said, brother, a lot of our people have that slave mentality because of it. So, the effects that they have done to our people, like you mentioned, we've been reclassified 9, 10, 11 different times. We've been taken out of our original status and gave lower classes. And foreigners have came in and been put in higher standards or classes.
Yes.
And we have endured all of that.
Yes, sir. And oft times when, foreigners come over here, they are brought over here to undermine our efforts and to increase their ranks. And I remember Richard Pryor, when he was talking about the Vietnamese in his stand-up, he said they got them some new niggas. The Vietnamese, that was back then. But people are brought over here to undermine our efforts. Every time our people gain some type of traction, something is made to be happen in this theater of news. And then all of a sudden, some people are brought over here to undermine us. A few years ago, it was some Hispanics, then it was Haitians, and now it's the Ukrainians. Just brought over here and getting taxpayers' money. And they're brought over here to undermine our efforts. But a lot of our people, we're busy trying to be other than ourselves. Just like when, I believe what the chief is doing with the tribing up. I believe in that. And it's a good thing that she's doing.
Yes, sir. I believe in that also, brother. And what I also love is how she's questioning and challenging the miseducation system and the history. And I'm going to land there.
Yes, sir. Because the educational system is indoctrination, all of it. It's culturally biased. It's falsehood, all of it. Now, I was a person growing up, I loved the planetary science, loved it. Yet, as I grew up, I started questioning it because a lot of it, most of it didn't make sense. Because if saying Jupiter is like 10 times the size of Earth and all this other stuff, and how far it is from the sun. And I'm looking at them, it's like, well, if these planets are that big, why can't we? I mean, that's big. 10 times the size of Earth. That's big. That's what I was told in the 6th grade when I got into astronomy, planetary science. But for a long time, I thought that was true. Never really believed in the history. Never really believed in that. Because I always was skeptical about somebody discovering something that's been here before they got here. You didn't discover nothing. It was here already. And if you go somewhere and you see people there, you are the visitor, not the people who's there, been there for generations. You're the visitor. See, that's the thing. People go around, especially Europeans, they go around, call themselves discovering things. And we know they're known for being thieves. They'll steal something from you, Peace to the brother King Genocide. Peace to the perfect pure. Peace to you. Thanks for coming through. Salute to the brother Brown Flat Power God. Now, Pope Francis, Vatican. We got to do more than denounce. And since the Vatican basically runs the damn world, they need to start whispering in some of these nations' ears concerning our people. Peace to the Taz Show. Salute to you, family. That's what needs to happen. Exercise some of that power that you have and right the wrongs. That's what needs to happen. Because just merely saying, you know, that it was wrong that was done and we didn't authorize this and all this other foolishness, you need to right your wrong. Salute the King Genocide, brother. How you doing?
Good, good. You can hear me?
I can hear you, brother. What's the word? What's going on?
Not much. Chilling. Just joining up. I had just finished a little live about propaganda, but yeah, this a good one right here. I read that. Oh, he denounced saying that how can you find people? And I'll listen to Bill to that. Good bill, bro. Keep going.
Now, in Manhattan Beach in California, is a prime example of a family getting their land back. They took, the people who they have a resort on that land, and the people had concrete evidence that Manhattan Beach was theirs. They went to court and won, and they had to give them their land back. And some of our people need to go, because I know my family roots are Georgia, Gainesville, Florida, and Jacksonville, Florida. That's my family roots. And we have acres down in Sylvester, Georgia. Acres. And like I told my cousin we need to look into that land and see what's going on with that land. Because our family got acres down in Georgia, acres down in Gainesville and Jacksonville, where my grandparents are from. You can't sit idly by and have this doctrine of discovery. Some people come, wow, look at this. Here's some land. Let us build something on it and call it our own. No. If it belonged to us, you're not building nothing on it. You're going to pay some rent because it's ours if we allow you to stay there.
Yeah, that's facts. Can't come to it. And then if everything is free, like where's us saying, where's I'm not explaining it right, but you perfectly giving out. We know it's been acknowledged, but where's the equation of solving the problem and the misfortune and the robbery of the land and all that? Like, what type of problem solving are we doing with that? You know what I'm saying? For like, not us as a people, I'm talking about like for like the people that's acknowledging that they know in our government and shit. Like, where's the problem solving, helping us get to a solution on this shit? You feel me? Not even mean to curse, but it is what it is because it's frustrating. You feel me?
Indeed. See.
Yeah, they have, like I keep reiterating, they have our people believing they came from slaves and ain't telling them their true heritage, that they came from America. They were here in America. The implements of that is devastating. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, indeed. That story is devastating, and it doesn't give us, our natural state in this land. It doesn't, because it tells us we're from somewhere else, and there's no naturalization to this land. If they're telling us we came over here on a boat, that doesn't even give us, the notion to go and find out whether we have land. Why? Because we're thinking outside the U.S. We're thinking 9,000 miles away. But if we know we're from here, some of us are going to be looking. I know my family's from here, so I'm going to go and I'm going to look and see, is there some land somewhere down south that my people own, that belongs to my people. And if it is, we need that. But when somebody tell you, they give you an indoctrination that you were slaves, because if you were slaves, that it means you didn't own nothing. That means they own it. See, that's the thing. That's the reverse psychology to tell you that they own the land and you was just merely as a slave tilling the land, working for them on the land. They did a number on our people with the indoctrination and the false history. They did a number on our people. And for that alone, stealing from us. And none of us can't say, you got the ignorant among us to say that we wasn't oppressed. It's like, you can't say that when it's being done right now to this day. How are you going to say, stop living in the past and stop doing it when what happened then is happening right now?
Yep. And we still affected about what happened. It's just like this. If you took my foot off 10 years ago, 1,000 years ago, you still took my foot off. You still injured me. You feel me?
Indeed. But what I'm saying is, if you look at the system, which myself and the brother Big Dog, Philly OG, and Key Norfolk, we speak about divorcing the system. There's a system put in place. And people don't understand because why? They are waiting in line to fall a victim to that system before they believe there's a system that exists. You have the ignorant among us would try to convince me and others that we don't have an enemy.
Mm-hmm.
We're nobody's enemies. They're our enemy. And it's the actions of them that makes them our enemy. We're no enemy to nobody. Why? Overall, we try to get along. We go along to get along. Overall, that's what we do.
You're right. It's like what people don't realize. I'm about to go into what you about to say, right? People don't realize a war is just physical. And I remember y'all saying it. It's way more than that. Like a war can be fought with just food alone. And look at the inflation and the food prices. Another way, it's the psychological. You see what I'm saying? If a person don't realize they're in the war, the fight of war, it ain't about the physical, because that's just one element. Fuck the physical part.
Exactly.
You got the food, then you got what you would call the other different resources that go into it. You got the intelligence. You see what I'm saying? Then you got the different formations. So like if a person don't realize they're in the war and they being fought off financially, but they don't see it happening.
Yep. Financial war. This is warfare. Education warfare.
Warfare. Yes.
The food, the drug administration, that's warfare. Police, that's warfare.
Abortions.
We are at war and on whole different levels. And most of our people, we think of when you say war, they think about the theater of war that we're showing, and that's the violence.
They thinking about guns and stuff. Exactly. Oh shit, we doing that shit to our damn self. What the police doing?
They have they have what they call the social experiments, the social engineering.
There we go.
That's war also. To put crime in an area, to put our people in a certain area and then induce it with crime. Put guns there, put drugs there, you know what I'm saying? Let it run down, let it run down. But some of that's our fault, because if you piss in the elevator in the building you live in, that's your damn fault. Don't piss in the staircase, don't piss in the goddamn elevator. Some of it's our fault, but I'm talking about the social engineering, the drugs, and the propaganda machine. Shit happens everywhere. Okay? A white person kill a white person, that's called crime. One of us kill each other, that's called black on black crime. Only people have crime based on their ethnicity is us. Nobody else. If a Korean person kill a Korean person, they're going to report that as a murder, not Korean on Korean crime or murder. We're the only one who they put the ethnicity on when it comes to crime. And
right.
and they do it on purpose to shine a light and make us look like we're, committing crimes more than others. And they put these statistics, which are false, up, or we're a certain percentage of people, but we commit the most crimes. Nonsense. If I control the propaganda machine, I can sway the news the way I want it to sway. I remember a time when news reporters didn't have no opinions. They just reported the news. Now news programs are full of goddamn opinions of the person who's delivering the news. Only time you heard a news reporter give, back in the day when I was growing up, their opinion on something, every now and then you have what they call an editorial, where a news reporter gave their opinion. But if you watch the news today, every news program is full of opinions and opinions about certain people. If you're delivering the news, just deliver the news.
Yeah, that's the truth. Now, they be talking about celebrities on the news and different stuff. I'm like, man, there's so many different, better, interesting, tragic wars and stuff happening in different countries around the world. You know what I'm saying? Poverty and stuff, a lot of stuff. But, they give people, because to the masses, a lot of people don't have the understanding like we get. So they give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. That's why I don't really watch a lot of it. But then you got to watch some just to understand kind of what's currently going on, even though it's presented in a misguided direction.
Some of these land masses that some of our people own are equivalent to what in New Jersey that we will call a borough. Okay? They're actually the size of boroughs, meaning that those of us who own that land can establish their own city. If you got that much land, you can establish your own city. Get your own protection for your city. Get your own city charter, your own city government. You can actually do that with that kind of land. Or you can keep it private for you and your family. And you can still charter your own. You can call it what you want to call it because it's yours. Because it's yours. And if you say, well, we don't need y'all driving through here, police, it's your land. It's private. We don't want you driving through here. Go that way. It's ours. I don't care where you got to go. You can't go there through here. This is ours. It's private property. If it's a few miles, it's still private property. And that's what we need to look into. Establishing our own corporated cities. That's ours. Salute to the realist McCoy. If we have land that's ours, first off, the ownership of the land is your establishment because it's yours already. But it's just all about letting people know, look, this is private property. I don't care if it's 3 miles by 3 miles. This is private property. We don't want nobody unauthorized coming through here. We got a right to protect it, and we will protect it. It's ours. First, your credibility. We know what kind of people you are. Your credibility leads me to, to not trust you. So go that way. You can't come through here.
What if they want to give you a coupon? It's a joke.
Nope.
No coupon. No. Hold on. No soliciting. No loitering.
That's right. That's what you're doing. If you're coming through our property,
Yeah.
unauthorized, we have a right to do what we will because it's our land.
Buying land, that's actually something that can be done. But the thing is, what you would call what would be wanted is something that would be close to where necessary supplies and trade can be done. But that type of land would cost more. But you can go to land that costs less, but then you got to worry about the issue of the trade of having resources for the land. You see what I'm saying?
Well, if you have some land, you have to be your number one resource. You have to till that land and cultivate that land and make that land what it will be. And if you have land, my mindset, the first order of business would be protection, security, securing that land. Because I always say, okay, just say we have land and we till that land and we're growing this and we're growing that, we're growing all kinds of crops and everything. Peace, salute to the realist McCoy. My sentiment is always people flying over, damaging our crops. So security is the first. My mindset is security is the first line of business when it comes to having land of that magnitude, because we have people who are that wicked that if they see you growing crops, they will fly over and poison your damn crops. So if I got land of that magnitude, it's a no-fly zone, period. Unless it's a crop duster, somebody I hired to fly over to water my crops. Other than that, you got cats that fly over your stuff and poison everything you did. You can't harvest a damn thing. Salute to the brother, the realist McCoy. How you doing, good brother?
Yo, I'm here, man. I just been listening in, man. That's it, man. I'm just listening in. Big Dog Philly, what's up, man? Enemies Public.
Much
King
respect,
Genocide.
my brother. Much respect.
That, man. I'm just here, man. I was listening in, but I seen the Enemies Public drop the link, so I'm like, all right, I hear you, but just the same old going on with me, man. Ain't nothing changed, man. I got an enemy and they won't go away. Man. That's all that's on my mind.
Yes, sir, brother. Yes, sir. We got an enemy, but some people have us believe we don't, brother.
It's hard for me to believe that, man. They obvious, man. They plain. They right there in front of you. They ain't even hiding no more, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Making it obvious. No subtleties, brother. None.
So that's why I don't listen to none of their propaganda, man. I know they want to stay on my mind, man, but they ain't paying no rent. So I just keep them out of my mind, man. Just stay away from them, man. They wicked. They evil, man. They don't like me. So why the hell would I have them on my mind, man? So I don't listen to none of their propaganda, man. I know who they are, man. They don't have to do nothing else for me to convince me,
Indeed.
And,
But a
and
brother
like,
go ahead, OJ.
man, I'm be real quick, brother. Like I said, we got our people. We see this is the time we supposed to be uniting and coming together, but we got these people in the community that, like I said, don't want to see us come together. They rather come together with everybody else but us. When we the ones that basically this system reclassified, enslaved mentally, they rather be against us than work with us, and it's mind blowing. You got it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I don't blame them, man. I mean, I was once there, man. You know, I'm just thankful to be where I'm at and just, to do what I can do. Now that my eyes is wide open, man, I ain't waiting on nobody, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Indeed,
Yeah.
brother.
Well, being blinded by a system that, like, even though you can't see or touch it, it's there. That shit affects people. And for people who don't know that shit, it sounds like you crazy or you don't know the hell you're talking about. Like, nah, it's shit systems designed to set you up for failure. This shit's real
And
as
real
fuck.
quick, hey brother, if you look at the timeline of this doctrine of discovery, it's right around the time when allegedly Christopher Columbus came over here and
Exactly.
so-called discovered America, and also the slave story.
Exactly. Exactly. It's like when
So
after they implemented the
There we go.
the doctrine of discovery, that's when all that stuff started happening. They started coming to different lands and taking people land from them. Some people were enslaved, some people were murdered. It didn't happen to they magnified it. They didn't it didn't happen to the extent that they said it did. But it's a whole bunch of theft and deceit happened and murder.
exactly.
Regardless to how the indoctrination affected us, the fact is all this murder and deceit and theft, even the rape and the colonization, all that stuff happened. It happened.
Yeah.
And it's still
Like I
happening
keep
today, though.
reiterating about that Africa shit. A lot of our people still believe they came from Africa because of that doctrine of discovery. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct, brother. See, what they don't realize is that when they did all that colonization, is they did it here and Africa. They did it in both lands when they had the doctrine of discovery. People were discovering shit over there too, while they were discovering shit here. But we was here.
We
was here.
discovered Puerto Rico that way, Haiti that way,
Exactly.
Caribbean islands,
Yep, exactly.
Dominican Republic, all through the doctrine of discovery. Because if they tell it, they hit the islands before they hit the United States. So they did all that to the islands prior to them coming to our land.
Absolutely. Because that's supposed to be the middle passage, right?
Yes, sir.
It's supposed to be the middle passage on the way here.
And that's why the people that look like us talk against us, because of the doctrine of discovery and the education system that they were taught.
Yes. And they come here trying to tell us who we are and where we're from because of the indoctrination. They were indoctrinated too.
And brother, enemies public. The reason I brought this, what I heard from Sister Beth.
You're breaking up, brother. They did a number on us. Is all I can say. With the indoctrination, with the Out of Africa story. It did a number on our people.
Did hey, Brother Nasir, did so I ain't see the jank about the Pope, but did he say anything about that? Like, or he just kind of touched on the subject? So
Oh, he actually denounced the doctrine of discovery.
Okay.
And he actually said that it goes against the Catholic faith. But they're almost 500 years late.
Yeah.
After all what happened, now he's coming out. And at the same time, King Genocide,
Yeah.
Realist McCoy, we're speaking about indigenous people to this land. You got culture vultures on tour talking about their indigenous, like, Fat Joe, John Leguizamo, all of them. At the same time, while he's doing this, he's going on tour talking about Latinos built America. They're the biggest group in America. He actually said they were lynched and burned at the stake and shot at and oppressed and everything. And he also said that they're the fifth largest. If they had their own country, they'd be the fifth largest nation on earth. Everything that pertained to us, this dude just straight up ganked us for it. We're trying to with his propaganda. He put that on Latino people, knowing damn well it's a lie. Lies, outright lies. Yeah, you was breaking up, brother.
Yeah, I got you. I was just saying, basically, our people need to come together because they're still writing us out of history because they're giving the $5 natives or Indians credit for being here and still not talking about our people, the
Yes,
injustices that was done to us. It's still
yes,
getting overlooked.
yes. And then we have the identity thieves, saying that our history is their history now. So we have that to worry about now. Not necessarily, but when somebody put a camera in somebody's face and millions of people are watching it, then you have millions of people, some of them going to believe that foolishness that John Leguizamo is saying. And then he started, like when we did the video the other day, Big Dog, I didn't even see that video. And I knew what this dude was going to say because, I know the mindset of these fools when they out here trying to get what's ours. When John Leguizamo mentioned Tony Touch, I knew he was going to start talking about hip hop. He started mentioning Crazy Legs. I knew he was going to start talking about hip hop. I knew this. And then when he said he went to New York, I knew he's going to start talking about how they were the Scottie Pippen to Michael Jordan when it came to hip hop. I'm like, that's bullshit. Being somewhere and you're not participating, that doesn't mean that you created a damn thing because you were standing around witnessing it happening. Now, if you could say, well, I was a witness, I seen it when it was coming to fruition, but you can't say that you did a damn thing. Right now, if just say not one Hispanic hip hop artist ever existed, hip hop would still be what it is today. Why? Rakim's not a Latino. Big Daddy Kane's not a Latino. KRS-One is not Latino. Cool G Rap's not Latino. Melly Mel, Kumo D, none of them is not Latino. No MC that resonates with me is not a damn Latino. Wise Intelligence not Latino. Run, DMC, Houdini, none of them Latino. So hip hop would still be what it is today if they never touched the damn mic. But they just want to come and claim something that's not theirs. I was around before hip hop was on record. Jazzy Jeff, DJ Jazzy Jeff. Damn right, the perfect pure. Not a Latino. DJ Cheese, the first DJ to ever win the world supremacy in DJ and spinning hip hop. A Jersey cat won that. I know him personally. Not a Latino. Cosmic Kev, Cash Money out of Philly. Out your hometown, OG. Jazzy Jeff too. None of them Latino. We have to gatekeep our shit. Because when you let certain people in your home, they're looking around and trying to figure out how they can get further into your house. Before you know it, their ass is upstairs. We should have regulated it. We should have gatekeeped it. We should have, sifted people before we let them in. Because some people, when they come to your home, some people try to take over your shit. They get real comfortable. The minute Fat Joe said nigga, he should have been checked. They let him say nigga and got away with it. The first time he said nigga, he should have been checked.
You know what? It's kind of funny that you said him. I was thinking about who would be the first besides like white rappers, but like Latino rappers. It would have been Fat Joe, right?
No.
Who came before him?
Tito from I forgot the name of the group that did the song, Rockin' It. From back in the days, you had somebody with the Mean Machine.
Okay.
From the 80s. And by the time Crazy Legs and the Rocksteady crew was on Beat Street, hip hop was already in 10 to 12 years already. Beat Street came out 83. And not only that, by the time they was doing those moves were old. They were old moves.
So no.
I'm almost 60, bro. I'm almost 60 years old.
Okay.
I was around before hip hop was on record. I'm from the doing it in the park era, at the parties era before it was on record.
Okay. So like how was it like in the the very beginning? Like what would you call like the beginning, you know what I'm saying, like an estimate, you know what I'm saying? Ain't gotta be exact, but just
It was first it started off, like they said it did. Peace to the brother Smoke Signal. The DJ was on the turntables, the MCs lined up to spit their lyrics. If you was whack, they turned the system off on your ass. They rolled you out of there if you was whack.
Like the Apollo, right?
Exactly. Like a violent Apollo audience. They roll your ass out. But for the most part, they had instrumentals. Like they'll play Good Times. They had the drummers beat. People used to rock to the breakdown or drummers beat. Good Times, different beats. James Brown beats mostly. They'll take the breakdown of the beat and keep spinning it. Keep spinning. The MCs will line up to grab the mic. That's how it was.
So what year, what years, this is late 70s.
It was it was the late 70s. Well, it was the early 70s when they was doing it, like in the parties in the park. But as far as like it being put on wax,
Or mainstream. It was more
mainstream,
mainstream. Yeah, okay. So it started in the early 70s. So
right,
it really originated. It really okay in the neighborhoods and the parties. Like I get you. And
right.
you know, like a bad example, house party, but 20, 30 years before that. Nah, 10 years before house party.
Now
Yeah,
it was good. It was a good almost 20 years before house party.
yeah, 20 years, yeah, so something like
Almost
that.
20 years before
Some
house party.
mm,
But when hip hop artists started doing hip hop on records, they had to come to New Jersey. All of them. Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, Treacherous 3, Sequence, Funky 4+1, all the like the top name hip hop artists, they had to come to New Jersey, had to come to Inglewood because that's where Sugar Hill Records was on West Street
and
in New
okay,
Jersey. They had to come to New Jersey and record. Everybody recorded in New Jersey.
okay.
They had some smaller labels like Enjoy and different labels, but they wasn't as big as Sugar Hill Records. Sugar Hill is the label that put it like out there with the Sugar Hill Gang, which was a group that she put together. Sylvia Robinson. Sylvia Robinson was a singer. She and her husband was a singer. They were
Mhm.
singers. Remember that song on I think it was Dirty Dancing?
Okay. It's one of them James.
She's
So
on,
that
she's on one of those songs. She sang that song and she did the song Pillow Talk. Sylvia
okay,
Robinson.
okay.
I was there when they named the street after her after she passed away.
So a singer, a female singer, and her husband start help launch hip hop to the mainstream to the
Mainstream,
world.
yes.
Wow, you can't
She's
make that
called
shit up, bro.
she's called the godmother of hip hop.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, yeah. She
Robinson,
deserved that one. Yeah, yeah.
the godmother of hip hop.
I think I heard a little bit about that before, but you broke it down for me because I'm down there 40, but like when I was young, you know, what I'm saying I might have heard a little bit about that, but yeah, that's a good story right there. But then again, like and then I think Carol's one of a couple of people said something to this extent, like you got hip hop, you got rap. But now you get like drill and trap and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's like, you know, it's crazy, yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, he said that Sugar Robinson and Sugar Hill Record messed up hip hop with how they did things, But Chris wasn't in hip hop when in '79. A lot of people say, he made that he say that he was here from back then, but he's not even old enough.
Mhm.
We're the same age. He's not even old enough to say he was with those cats that's in their 60s back then. He had to be a real little dude to say that. We're the same age.
Mhm.
But when hip hop first started, you know, it was done a lot different than it done today. People can do songs if you got a good laptop and you get programs and stuff. You can do all that stuff right in your damn house. Back then, you had to go to the studio. The song had to get mixed down and the whole nine, and they didn't, and it wasn't sampled. Not at Sugar Hill. I know people who played in the band. They played that music live,
Mhm.
and
Oh yeah, yeah. Those instrumentals, nah. I've listened to a lot of them older gents. Them shits ain't no samples, nah. That's actual, and it be a lot of different instruments. Like people, hey, them shits be hitting, bro. I've
they
been
played
listening
that
to,
music live. It was real drums, real horns, real
yeah,
all that, real
yeah.
xylophones and the whole nine. Because I knew. Well, I don't. He passed away a few years ago.
Mhm.
I knew the guy personally who wrote the message, Survival, and New York, New York. He was from New Jersey too. And now, not only did he write the songs, he actually spit on the song. Um, when you hear my brother's doing bad. Stole my mother's TV, so she's watching too much. It's not healthy. That's not Raheem singing that. That's actually the guy who wrote the song singing it. Raheem is lip syncing. So you had a ghostwriter and ghost spitter way back in the early 80s.
Yeah, and people do stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Like a prime example.
Yeah, finesse sequence is dope.
On the Jizza album, Killer Priest is on the bass instructions before leaving Earth. They snuck him on the track.
See, it was done a lot different back then, bro. It's not because the first one to actually use a sample loop is the first person who got sued for it, and there was DJ Marley Marl.
Okay, so what did he sample?
He sampled that as time keep on slipping. The time keep on slipping.
Okay, that Jay.
Sampled that with Biz Markie.
Oh, okay. Okay, I remember that Jay.
With the Nobody Beats the Biz, he sampled that. He's the first one to get sued for a sample clearance. He's the one who basically started the sampling.
Yeah, I remember back then. Yeah,
they knew nothing about sample clearances and all that, but the song didn't really take off, but Biz Markie's song took off, and they wanted some of that loop.
Oh, that's crazy. So the song didn't do the numbers that the Biz Markie version did. Oh shit! Yeah, that's funny.
So people don't know the song. The group Sequence, who was on Sugar Hill Records, one of the females that was in that group Sequence is Angie Stone, the singer Angie Stone. She was in that hip hop group way back then when she was younger. Angie Stone, she used to be a rapper. She was Angie B back when she was in the Sequence.
Oh wow, interesting shit.
Angie Stone used to be a rapper before she was a rapper before she was a singer. And my man Edward Fletcher, he wrote those songs and he actually spit on those songs. So, ghostwriter and a ghost spitter. And he was a musician. He produced the songs. They used to play that stuff and then they'll mix it down. They actually had mic stands in the studio, and the Furious Five, whoever rapper was there, was standing at the mic and they did the song like that. It wasn't how they do it today.
Yeah, they don't simplify a lot of stuff, like for real, like it don't take a lot of time, like for real. If you got even a phone, like if you got a good phone or a good laptop or a good computer, you take one day to actually learn how to do the shit. And then you download some free shit. You can drop your own music that's actually good. She credits yourself. But you gotta have patience and shit, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people always want to steal beats and refurbish them.
The most you had on the album back then was 7-8 songs. Now you gotta have 15, 20 songs. The only person who was doing that many songs back then, like in double albums, was Stevie Wonder. Everybody else was doing like 6 and 7 songs. That was the album, 6 and 7 songs. That's how it was back then. You got 6, 7, sometimes 8 songs on an album back then. That's how it was back then. Now, catch 20, 21 songs. Why? Because it's easier. Not only that, nobody wasn't really composing and writing songs. And then you get a composer, and then you got actual live instruments. It's a lot more time consuming and harder to do back then.
So look, check it out, right? You know how you got organic foods and you got GMO foods? You see where I'm going at when I'm saying this, right?
Yeah. I mean, right now, they even upped it now with the AI. Right now, you could take any artist right now with AI could get a feature from any artist they want. All they gotta do is sample the voice, and then you can say, well, I got a feature with Jay-Z, got a feature with this person, feature with that person. Use the AI, you got a feature with them.
You ain't hear the Kendrick Lamar and Jay-Z shit? I wanted to go listen to it, and then they was like, yeah, that's a total AI generated voice of Jay-Z and lyrics, and it actually sound the funny shit. Like if didn't nobody tell you that won't really sound like, and the shit we're hearing.
I was watching the Big Boy program, and they had Kanye West singing Justin Bieber, doing Ice Cube, and doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, and it was like, that's not even Kanye, that's AI. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I'd like to get my hands on it, but the AI is really it could be dangerous because they can incriminate any one of us just by sampling our voice and have us saying some shit that we didn't say, or have us somewhere we wasn't at. If they want to, incriminate you and bag you up, they can do that. So it's some mad scientists out here.
Yeah, they can recreate an event and show the news and on some bullshit,
Because that picture with the cops chasing Trump looked real.
What they was chasing Trump? Where? What happened?
Yeah, it's on one of my thumbnails talking about the artificial intelligence. That look real, and the one he's fighting with the cops look real.
Oh shit! I didn't see that shit. Yeah, that shit funny. Yeah, they got a lot of
man. Yeah, the enemy, man, they got it all covered, man. I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, they do.
They got it all covered, man. And we're still under the spell. If we could just get up from the spell, just free our minds, and I think we can. But that's the only way we gotta get from under their spell, man.
That's what it starts with, brother. The mind, brother. De La Soul warned us about the AI years ago. They had an album called Artificial Intelligence, and when they had a rapper on the streets saying, I can sound like Busta, I can sound like what's the brother name from Tribe Called Quest? Phife Dawg, I can sound like this rapper, and then they'll start rapping with their own voice. All of a sudden, it emerge into the rapper they said they can sound like. They wanted that's the album 20 years ago. They warned us about this, and in all actuality, artificial intelligence is lies. Just like the artificial intelligence we've been given all our life, artificial intelligence is indoctrination. It's artificial. It's not real.
Oh yeah, programs, man. They program
telling us about ourselves and who we are is artificial intelligence. Sticking to the subject, that's what artificial intelligence is. Telling us that we're somebody else, telling us that we're from somewhere we're not. And then telling us that the mockery of it all is telling us to go back somewhere we're not from.
My thing is, man, how they've gotten us to get so used to being abused. I mean, and being lied to. We just they could lie to us. They'll say something today, and we know it's a lie tomorrow, and they just keep getting it. It's just how we get so used to being in an abusive relationship and just accept it, man.
It's Stockholm syndrome.
They use repetitive programming like they do with the radios, with the radio programming. You know what I'm saying? They use repetitive programming. Now they'll play the same 8 records on the radio all day, every day. If you listen to the radio, which I don't do, and then you find yourself humming a song you don't even like because it's me.
It's the chick. This nigga hit it right on the head.
And our people, it's like we're given, it's the pacifier syndrome. You're given a pacifier to shut up, to stop crying. And you're not getting nothing of substance out of the pacifier until you get hit to what the pacifier is. Hold up, I'm hungry. Ain't shit going on with this damn pacifier. I'm not getting full from this. Eventually, don't a baby spit that out? Eventually, a baby spit that out. Oh, no, this is not working. I'm hungry. And our people, we suffer as if the whole entire world is like Novocaine. It's like it numbs us to our own pain and suffering. And we suffer peacefully because all Novocaine does is take away the pain temporarily while they pull a tooth or while they do whatever. That's what Novocaine does. And that's what the spell we're under. Being consistent with what the perfect pure said, it's like the song that Stevie Wonder did in the 70s. Like Richard Pryor did the joke, I'm going to read from the Book of Wonder. When it says, giving us just enough for the city. That's what they try to give us if we're not aware of what they're doing. They give us just enough for the city. And we suffer because most people just don't want to be in pain. So they deal with our symptoms. It don't even have to necessarily be physical symptoms. It could be giving you a paycheck. It could be giving you somewhere that you deem nice to live, that shuts you up. That's a pacifier. It could be any of these things that you deem tangible, but it's really trinkets to them, just to make you think that you have risen above the condition of your people. And some of us, because we get these things, think that we have risen above the condition of our people. And we'll just shut up with the, standing and acting on behalf of our people. I call it reneging. Reason why I call it reneging is because when you learn knowledge of self and others, and you stand and act on your behalf and your people's behalf, and then for some reason you decide that you're not on the quote unquote pro-black thing, and you go back to being a nigga, you're reneging. You're being a nigga again after you got knowledge of self. And when we get this knowledge of self and others, and we stand, you're supposed to remain standing. We should never renege. Never that.
I just feel my enemy needs to stop lying, and with their fear tactics, man, I think that's what's putting us in in our conditions, man. I mean, they won't stop lying to us, man, deceiving us, terrorizing us, man, put us in fear, constantly worried. I mean, they doing a number on us, man. So,
Yes, sir.
you know, I mean, I understand our condition right now, 100% because of our enemy. You know, we aren't naturally this way, man. Our enemy just terrorizes. You brought up that slavery earlier. That's what they use to just make us abase, make us humble ourselves and bow down, you know. And then it started from there, you know, and it's grown into this right here, where we're still in fear and humble and thankful to our enemy for what they give us, you know. So I mean, I understand our condition, man. That's why our enemies, man, they need to get out the way, man. That's the problem, you know.
And that goes back, my brother, to, you know, we're told to obey our earthly master, and we will have a reward when we die. Suffer now, and you'll have your reward after you die. You know, you know, Jesus is gonna come save you. And have you looking up in the damn sky when the answer to your goddamn problems is closer than you think. All you got to do is go into your bathroom and wherever you keep your mirror and look in it. And there you will see God. So all you got to go do is look in the mirror. The answer to your problems is right there. Or if you got some little ones at your feet, they the answer to your prayers too. Nobody coming, brother, because they're here already. No benevolent person outside of ourselves is going to contribute to our salvation, because it's our duty to change our condition. Ours. Nobody's but ours.
Well, they say you can get anything you want, just put your mind to it.
Yes,
That's what
sir.
they say. So then, therefore, I mean, if we just, they don't even, you know, can we just all put our minds to it to just say away with our enemy, man? I mean, that's, I
Brother,
mean,
I'm
can we,
with you, brother. I am with you
just on
100%.
our minds, just put it on our minds. But no, some of us know that we love our enemy, man. I mean, it's
Yes,
just
sir.
that simple,
Yes,
man. Some
yes,
of
sir.
and I understand why. It's an addiction. I got it.
Yes,
It's not. It's an addiction. You don't know any better. You don't think you can do better. So you're just comfortable in the system. Fine, man. But I just know abuse. I can't take getting lied to.
yes,
It's
sir.
just that simple, man. Don't lie to me, man. Which is, I just,
I agree with you, brother. Wholeheartedly, brother. I agree with you. But some of our people would tell us that we don't have no enemies. That's a figment of our imagination, and that's something made up. Whoever taught us that, let me tell you something, bro. How old are you, DeVillis McCoy?
I'm 48, man.
See, brother, can't nobody at your age try to come tell you how you feel. But you got people there to tell you that, brother. That'll come try to tell you how you feel or how you should feel, and don't even know your walk. Your walk gives you the determination on how you feeling right now, brother. I can't tell you anything damn different about what you feel. You said you got an enemy, damn it. Okay. All I can say to you as far as your enemy, well, whoever your enemy is my damn enemy too. As my brother. We got a goddamn enemy. We got an enemy.
Some people say their enemy is their self, you know. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking, man. I wouldn't lie to myself. I wouldn't abuse myself. You know what I'm saying? So I think I know I have an outright enemy, man. It's just too obvious, man. And
Yes, sir.
it's just important that they just ain't with coexisting with us, man. You know, that's the part that I have a problem with. We can coexist with them, and we
Yes,
have history. We have,
yes. History tells
you
us
know,
that.
and still, but they just can't coexist with us, man. They just have to. They have to bother us, abuse us, lie to us, steal. You know,
Hinder us.
it's just, yeah. I mean, it's like, damn. Don't they have enough business of their own? Why the hell they up in our lives like that? Why are they so obsessed with us?
Exactly.
Leave us the, just leave us alone, man.
Leave
You
us
know,
alone.
but I'm wrong though. I'm wrong.
Oh, no, you're
I'm
not.
wrong for saying. I'm wrong for saying that something's wrong. I'm
Yeah.
wrong for that. I'm looked at as odd, that I'm thinking too much. You know, and it's obvious, man. They lie to us, they abuse us, they give us garbage food, they have a filthy future in store for us. They don't like us, they want to do away with us, they want to destroy us. The moment we was born, they've been trying to murder us. I mean, it's just obvious, man. Come on.
If
But
you
you know,
can't see it,
I'm not here to convince anyone. I'm just here sharing my thoughts, my life, my thoughts.
I
That's
hear
it.
you, brother. I
You
hear
know,
you. And some people, brother, they think ignoring something makes it go away. And it doesn't make it go away because you ignore it. It's going you can turn your head and you can act like it's not there, but the minute you turn your head and look back at it, there it goes, right there. Some of us, brother, we'll rather suffer peacefully, brother, because some of us are content with being where we are as a people. Don't want no more. And we'll see a brother or sister working to better our condition, and will have something to say negative about that brother or sister. And will say something negative about you because of your sentiment, because of what you've seen in your walk, and that gives you that determination that you have an enemy that don't want shit for you. Brother, I share your sentiment. I don't got nothing. I don't have. I'm not against nothing you said, bro.
yeah, I'm just focusing on what I can do. I've drowned them out. You know, their voices. If you don't know what time it is right now and see what's going on, what's going on right in front of you, then we're not going to even understand what we're on right now. And I'm not here to convince you, change you. Just this is what time I'm on right now. This is what's going on in my mind, and I'm on that. And it's just combining with those who are on the same thing. I know y'all out there. I know y'all out there. So that's all, man. We all here just sharpening each other, man. Keeping ourselves focused on what needs to be done right now, man. That's all, man. You know. Yeah.
We've been lied to, brother. You know,
100%.
we've been stolen from.
Still being lied to.
We're
That's the
still being
problem.
lied to, still getting
Still
things
being
wrong.
lied to.
Yes,
Just
sir.
that's the problem, man. I don't know about 500 years ago, but I know right now I'm being lied to and abused, man.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, yes. And my children, I got children to protect and to guide through this madness right now. So, you know, I don't really have time to listen to doubters and skeptics and critics and, you know, naysayers and people who have other. I'm focused on what I need to do right now, man. You know, that's it. And that's what we all need to do, man. We need to just, because it's a lot going on, man. And I mean, it's a lot going on. You know,
Some
so
of our people, good brother, it's like because someone brought them flowers and they are a gentle rapist, they say this person is not their enemy. You know, this person is a gentle rapist. Is still a damn rapist. You know, this person is a gentle oppressor. he smiled at me or she smiled at me. So they're not as bad as the ones who don't smile. And we have to be mindful of that mindset. Oh, this person gave me this. Act of kindness don't make a person good, because that act of kindness can be done to deceive all of us. And we know this because we've seen it and we constantly see it. Whenever somebody come and make a deal with us, we can be the talent in that equation. You have somebody that come and exploit us and exploit our talents, wherever it may be. I'm not speaking about entertainment. It could be that too, but it can be any talent that we have. We'll have people that will come try to exploit that talent and get more for our talent than we get for our damn talent.
Like the Pope, right? The Pope does not exist to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing they have to say. You know, they don't exist. The only way, let me correct that. The only way they exist is the fact that I have to be aware that I have an enemy. That's the only thing. I don't care who they fuck. I don't know. I don't care who they kicking it with, who won this game, who's playing in this thing. Just, I know I have an enemy. So
Yes,
when
sir.
the Pope speak, he doesn't exist. Nothing he has to say is of any importance, you know. So it's just, I know you brought up the Doctrine, you know, he brought some documents. He represents a wicked system.
Yes,
he represents
does.
my enemy. He represents my enemy.
Yes, brother. He's top tier of that, brother.
He's part, so therefore he is just, it speaks for itself.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Yes, sir. Brother, again, I'm not against nothing that you're saying. You know, to me, that's the equivalent of seeing somebody in bad shape, looking at them, shaking your head, and be like, damn, that's a shame, and just walking away. What they did is the equivalent of that, brother. Action. I don't care what a man says. We want to see what he does. What he should have been doing is devising a plan before he came out and said anything. What should have came behind him denouncing the doctrine of discovery? It said, well, we realized that some people were done wrong. They were stolen. Stuff was stolen from them. They were oppressed. Some of them were enslaved. Some of them were murdered. They've been lied to for 100 years. They've been indoctrinated. This is what need to happen to make this right. And no goddamn denunciation or apology is not going to cut it. I can't put my hand on no goddamn apology. Can't put my hand on that.
You think my enemy gonna apologize to me? You think your enemy gonna apologize to you for what?
That's for the sake of argument, because it's an empty statement to me. That's where I'm going with that. It's empty. That shit is empty, because let me tell you something. If I wronged a family member or somebody who I cared about, you don't just go and say you're sorry. You say you're sorry and you do something to make it better, to make it right. You right that wrong. Saying you're sorry is not righting the wrong. That's only admitting that what you fucking did. And that's empty to me. That does nothing for me. We need what we're going for here in the wilderness of North America. We're old. We're old by basically the whole goddamn world. Because when people come here, they come here on that, undermining us and trying to get what's rightfully ours.
Yo, I had a thought today, right? I was like, this whole goddamn economy, the world runs from us being the black man. I'll say the black man for lack of a, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get technical. This world is ran by the chaining of the black man. You've put the black man into society, and society will transform. They have to keep the black man asleep, locked up, dead, just away from the family, man.
Yeah.
I could say yes, all races, they keep the man out, but I know, because I mean, if the black man was in the household on a regular, they couldn't get away with the bullshit they get away with. They know that.
Fact.
They know that.
You're right, brother.
Our family would be structured. Our community would be ran. We don't need them. So they know that they, you know, a lot of it, their economy is ran off the fact that we're locked away. You know, mentally, physically, we're lost. They have us lost, and that's on purpose.
And then they keep us, you know, on their drugs also, because some of us think we're told we're sick, and all we have to do is eat better. We're told we're sick and take this. You're sick, take this, and all they're doing is killing you. That too, added on to what you said, brother. Take this. You just get sicker and sicker and sicker. And the people are actually strung out on the food. Strung out on the food, so-called food, brother. They put addictive drugs in the foods that have out on the damn food.
That one's obvious, man. Come on, man. All they promote is filth. That's all they promote is filth, and we be out there sitting in Red Lobster thinking we doing something, eating roaches of the sea, the goddamn what they call those, like the catfish. What are those kind of animals? Scavengers.
Yes, sir.
We feasting on scavengers. We paying top dollars to eat scavengers, flossing.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's how, you know, I'm not gonna get mad at the victims though. We got caught up, man, but we gotta just see it for what it is, man, and just say, hell no. I mean, we can't have our children keep repeating this filth, man. I mean, how far are we gonna go with it, man? How much of it are we gonna continue to allow? It's just that simple, man.
And we have to denounce also, brother, the frivolous spending. We got to denounce that too, brother. We got to denounce the cats walking around with $3 million and $4 million watches and $100 million around their neck. We got to denounce that too. The frivolous spending. We got to denounce shit like that.
The only reason I would denounce it is because of our current condition.
That's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make sense. That's it. But I mean, if everything was cool, floss. Our streets will be paved with gold and all that. You know what I'm saying? But right now, man, we under attack, man. These people trying to do it, man. What?
Exactly.
So then it becomes a distraction. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Because they push that. Again, your point is made, and it's a very good point. Because that's the reason why I said, because our condition is not of so that any of us has risen above that condition. So the frivolous spending, we shouldn't be doing. All that is doing is they're making you think you're in a certain status, and you're not. You can't rise above the condition of your people. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how much money you got. You cannot rise above the condition of your people. You can think so because you got diamonds around you and all the other stuff, But guess what? You could be, with the stroke of a pen, brought down to ruins. If you refuse to play their game, you could be brought down to ruins.
And along with that, you're supporting your dealer, man. You're keeping your dealer. You're supporting the system that's in place to destroy you.
Exactly.
That's the psychotic. That's the mental, health of it. You're supporting the one that.
But they will, brother, the realest McCoy. This enemy of ours will decorate a nigga in a heartbeat, but you still theirs. They will decorate a nigga in a heartbeat. They'll put the best on that nigga. But that nigga ain't free. He's not free, and not even trying to free himself and his people. Not even trying to do that. Why? Because somebody told him he was better than his people, or her, that they was better than their people. It's about isolation. They'll isolate you, decorate your motherfucking ass, make you think you're better than your people, and you will actually think that. And then your philanthropy will not go towards your people. They'll tell you which motherfucking charity you're going to donate to. You can't go back home. You can't give nothing to nobody. You better build this school for these overprivileged ass kids in this neighborhood. The hell with your own people. That's the game.
Yeah, it would take a lot for me to work for these people to bring harm to my own people. To just anyone, period. You know what I'm saying? To bring harm to anyone. It'll be hard for me to, and that's kind of hard to believe in the sense that, you can't convince certain people that this person was one of them just because that person had the same race as you. So, that's
harm to nobody who hasn't done harm to me. But in particular, I'm going to speak on my own, but I'm not going to do harm to nobody who hasn't done anything to me. I just don't believe in that. But that's the game, though, brother.
Oh yeah, I know it, man. I seen it, man. I see them. That's why anything they say, I know they're liars, they're deceivers. They don't like me. They're wicked. They're evil. They're perverted. Their only goal is to destroy me, to do away with me. So therefore, what else do I need to know? Know. So that's all.
And then if once you get in it, in the game, you got to play it like them. They constantly, and the rules constantly change. The rules
just play the game, and just your goal is to get up out the game, is to get away from them. They don't like you. That's the right now. That's the number one priority, is to get away from them. Otherwise, you're gonna lose and continue to lose. The only way you're gonna win is to be free from them. That's it. That's the only
best thing to do, brother. The realest McCoy is to not play, because see all these cats that's in this game right now, they having a good time now, but they break their tools when they're done with them. You're not gonna be no old tool in the shed, bro. They break their tools when they're done with it, and none of them come out clean, bro. You don't come out of this clean. No, you don't. Because they do the dirt to get the dirt on you. They know you did it because they was there. They was doing the dirt with you. Being that they are who they are, they got the power with the system to make you the fall guy, to make you go down for the dirt. Y'all did together. That's the game. That's the game they tried on Bill Cosby. They know he did it. Why? They was doing it with him. They do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you. The same as the wars in Iraq and Iran. They know they had weapons. Why? United States got the receipt. They gave them weapons.
Yeah, they stories are wild, man. Their stories are wild. They're distractions, if nothing else, man. You know.
What mass distraction? And they used them, brother.
Yeah, and that's how they got to where they are right now. So, but I, doing my part, man, getting myself in order, staying focused, trying to get away from them, man. They don't.
You know, a lot of our people, we want to be in a certain status. We think that we could be, we want to, our aspirations of being with certain people. And some of us are willing to do what it takes to be with certain people and not realizing that we're being set up. You don't come out clean, not doing all that dirt. They don't let you out clean because once you start, it's that you always got to continuously do something. They want this from you. They want this from you. They just want this from you. And you're not going to come out clean because you get so dirty that you can't come out clean. They don't allow that. Again, they're doing it with you. So they know you're doing it. We can't even fathom the dirt some of these brothers and sisters got on them. That could be revealed to us any time if they don't capitulate on a daily basis with this system and with who they're involved with. We couldn't imagine the dirt that these people, some of these brothers and sisters got on them because they wanted to play.
Oh nah, they all in it together, man. They all have the
It was
same
not
goal. So,
take the advice that you gave. It's the best advice. Don't get involved at all.
that's it, and just focus on cleaning yourself up, getting yourself back in order, and head in the opposite direction, man.
Yep, that's it. The way they're going, you go in the other direction. Which way you going? Okay, well, I'm going this way. Don't want no parts in the direction you're going. But because some of us want to live a certain way, we do whatever. It's just to me, it's mind blowing, bro. But we just have to stay the course and not involve ourselves.
Yeah, seek independence, man. Free yourself. Free yourself. One moment at a time, man. That's your enemy. Remind yourself. That's your enemy. That's your enemy. Just stay away from him.
Every day, brother.
That's it. Just keep reminding yourself until you're freed.
Every day we have to remind ourselves of that and keep in mind of what you just said, brother. Seeking the independence, stay in the course, in your search and quest for independence. And don't fall for no distractions.
That's it.
Your mic sounds muffled, good brother. Yeah, but the Pope and the Vatican denouncing doctrine of discovery. He's all right, but it does nothing for me. What that is what that is like some people, want their feel good moment, and I don't like feel good moments. That's some church shit, man. The feel good moment, because our condition hasn't changed with a feel-good moment, and they can keep that. What's the word, big dog? They keep kicking you out, brother?
Yeah, you already know it, brother. Much love and respect. They kick me out every stream, but I'm loving what y'all getting into. You know what y'all saying. You know, to me, it's like our enemy is admitting he did us wrong. So why can't we, as the people, come together and allow this enemy to keep admitting and take advantage of it, so we can
Yes, sir.
prosper or come up from it? You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Instead of fighting and backstabbing each other, we got our enemy, you know, admitting they did us wrong. You know, that's my biggest thing. But we still can't come together and acknowledge, yes, you know, they did us wrong. Some people still ain't gonna believe it. You know what I mean? They still gonna be like, no, he's lying. We're slaves. You know, and that mentality is just sad. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I agree that we need to, you know, come together and act on our behalf on one accord, and get a code and stand on it. And we can't allow those who not of a like mind to be around us. We can't, because because it's not a play day. Too much is at stake for anybody to come around us who's not serious. Too much is at stake for us to allow anyone to look at us and suggest play. That's, you know, that's not being taken serious if somebody could look at you and suggest play. It's time for us to come together and take care of business on behalf of our people, because a lot more is going to come out. The more and more some of us reveal the truth about what's going on and what happened and the lies and indoctrination that happened to our people, the more of us come out, the more they come out and admit it. See, the thing is, we got to hold them to task, because if they don't do nothing, that's like somebody coming out and telling you, yeah, I did it, and what? If you come out here and denounce something and admit wrongdoing, something better come behind that. Something's supposed to come behind that. Not just coming out and saying that you did it. Yeah, I did it. We did it. That's what it sounds like to me if nothing comes behind that denouncing. Forget denouncing it. Okay, denounce it and do something about it. Because where we live at, in the wilderness of the United States, I'm certain that the Vatican has power over this territory. Francis needs to be whispering in somebody's ears and telling them, look, this is what's going to happen. I don't expect it of them, but that's what's supposed to happen once you come out and denounce something. Yet, our people need to take care of business and not even wait for that or even expect that, because our condition is ours and we should be the one changing it. And if we see our condition and we don't see fit to unite, to work on changing our condition, whatever happened to us, brother, we're going to deserve it. It's our condition. when you see something going on and you don't see fit to change your own condition and you're waiting for somebody else to come do it, just like waiting for that spook God. Meanwhile, your condition is still the same while you wait for that spook God. No, again, I said, look in the mirror. You'll see God, yourself. That's who's going to change your condition. That's who's going to feed you when you're hungry. And no loaf of bread falling out the sky. No grapes, no apples, no oranges falling out the sky.
Yeah, the only
I'm
one
with
that
you, my
really
brother.
wait. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Now you go ahead, brother. I muted.
No, I was just gonna say, the only one that wait like that is a child. You know, only a child waits around. Everyone else, you know, usually go out and do what they need to do. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A child waits on who they depend on, and that's mommy and daddy. But when you become mommy and daddy, you can't be waiting on nobody. You got to make things happen. And we need, brother, I don't know what, I know what it's going to take, yet, it shouldn't take that for us to get up off our ass. I'm with you on your sentiment, Willis McCoy, as far as, staying away from your enemy and just handling your business because it's your business. I'm with that. And getting with a like minds and taking care of business. I'm with that.
yeah, because
Yes, sir. Me too.
the only way you can stand up, if my mic is good, only way you can stand up and face them is if you're independent of them. If they know you're dependent on them and you need them, they'll never respect you, man. And that's what's going on.
Well said, brother. Damn. Because once you cross your T's and dot your I's and you are zero dependent on them, can't nothing but respect be a result of that. They have to respect you because you don't need nothing from them. No man respects a person who's constantly dependent on them. No man respect nobody like that.
Big facts.
When you come to him, and saying, I don't need nothing from you. Keep what you have. We got this. All of us, we got this. We don't need nothing from you. That divorce is final of the system. Can't nothing but respect come from that, bro. They might get a little envious and mad because they always do that because that's their nature. But when they see how we're coming and we mean business and not only are we independent of them, we have a standing army that's going to protect what the hell we built. That's nothing but respect. Because some people, when they see you doing what you're supposed to be doing, handling your business, that monster take over them. That envious monster take over them. Oh, these big niggas now. See, I know this enemy. I studied them for a long time. I know them. That's why when I say get knowledge of self and others, now you better get knowledge of them too. Better know who they are too, not just yourself. Better get knowledge of others too, because we need to know how these people move. The knowledge of self of other get into their mind, how they think. So it's like studying a fight tape of a fighter. You about to fight them? Study their ass. Whoever your opponent is, study them. You said we got an enemy, right, Willis McCoy?
Yeah.
Study them. Study them.
Yeah, be aware of them. Just study their moves. Just keep your eye
Exactly.
on them. Just keep your eye on them until you get away free, you know. But until then, keep your eye on them. That's all.
Exactly.
You know where they at.
Exactly. Constantly study your enemy. Because they damn sure studying you. Believe that. They studying you.
Yeah, they watching me. They watching us, I should say. Definitely.
Whenever they say they don't want something taught that's not even being taught, you know they studying us. They know they looking at us. They say they don't want critical race theory taught in schools when it's not even being taught. What you afraid of? And passing laws that saying they are threatening to arrest teachers, threatening to take jobs away from teachers for just because you want to teach the true history, want to teach what we're talking about. Right now on these platforms, they don't want teachers teaching that. They calling it critical race theory. And it was never taught in a school, and they're saying they don't want it to be taught. They're trying to ban something that was never taught. Why? Because it's critical of them. We are as great as they say they are, and they are not as great as they say they are. That's us who is great as they say they are. That's why they don't want their children to find that shit out.
Yeah, because then they won't fear them, you know.
Exactly.
They won't fear them. They'll see them at least as equals, at least, you know.
Exactly.
So that's why they terrorize us every day, so that we stay in fear. Because the moment we no longer fear them, it's over for them. They know it. That's why they got their military.
But the thing is, once some of the brothers
and their police force.
yes, exactly, brothers. Now, once the people who are, because their police, not necessarily a police force, but their military is full of our people. And once those people wake up with their training, once they wake up with all that training, that military is full of some of us. See, they're quick to put one of our faces on their rhetoric and their nonsense. That's why you see all these black women chief of police. That's why you see all these black men chief of police, because they're putting our faces on their bullshit so they can say it's not racist, because we can't be racist with a black woman chief. We can't be racist with a black woman police commissioner or state attorney or a black man who's the police chief. We can't be racist. And these people who they put in these positions are willing participant of their own people's demise. Because if you look at most of the superintendents of that runs a jail is one of us.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, that's the one I can't understand. Like, how are you able to, go against your own? It takes a certain kind of person to do that, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
But they know they got to use one that look like their target, so that their target will be at ease and feel comfortable and, relax,
That's the pacifier, the Novocaine. That's how they do it. They'll have somebody who look like us to get us excited. Like I was saying to our sisters about Kamala Harris. Our sisters got excited because they saw a woman that looks like them that's going to have this executive power. but she just doing a sister act. That's what that is. To get that office, and she didn't come around to our sisters until she wanted something from them. But when she was in California, it's not ironic that the man who wrote the 94 crime bill co-wrote it with Bill Clinton. Joe Biden ends up being the president, and the woman who damn sure implemented it in California as a state attorney, locking our people up left and right and laughing about it, is Kamala Harris. She did a sister act to get that office. And some of our sisters was excited because it was a woman, and it's a woman who look like them. Not her. Any woman won't do. We shouldn't have it to the point that any woman would do, or any one of us would do that look like us, even when it came down to Barack Obama. And you see what he ushered in during his presidency.
Uh-oh.
The abomination came under Obama. It's not ironic that his name is Obama, who ushered in the abomination. You know what he brought in. You know what he brought forth. We have to stop letting people dupe us and put people before us. They use the same tricks, the same exact tactics on our people. It's like getting hit with the same jab. When we gonna dip that? When we gonna counter that? When we gonna slip that jab and go over the top? We get hit with the same jab every time. They could put one of them before us, and these people were served to our demise. It was people who looked like us implementing robot dogs and robot polices in New York, talking about their fighting crime. When there's a war on crime, you better believe the underlying and overlining, the whole line altogether is against us. Just like the war on drugs. When they say a war on anything, it's against us. Whenever they mention a war on something, they're talking about our people.
And I totally agree, because like you said, we can look at the crack era and how they did us. And now we can look at the what they call it, the pill era that's going on now, and how they're getting treated.
Exactly.
They're getting treated as addicts. We were getting treated as criminals.
Perfect
this
example.
Opioid addict, this opioid epidemic.
It's a perfect example, OJ. Perfect
Yes,
example.
sir.
Crack was criminalized, and the opioid addiction is they're victims and they're addicts, and they have diseases or sickness. But we were criminalized. Our people were criminalized when they were on crack, and not only that, somebody can get caught with crack and do more time than somebody getting caught with pure cocaine. You'll do more time for crack. Why? Because there's a poor man drug that was designed for us. Short high, costs more, addictive. You know what I'm saying? But as opposed to cocaine, where you will do less time. Why? Because of a status.
And sir, like you said, with that war on drugs, basically, I was young, I was addicted, and basically I got in trouble, and I had to make a choice between prison and military. So the smart guy that I am, I chose the military, so I wouldn't have to go to prison. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the war that they implemented on us. And the choices was you either going to serve our country or you're going to get locked up.
Yeah.
And that's the choices that they gave a lot of us.
Exactly. It's not the war on drugs, it was a war of drugs. Cocaine against crack. It was a war of drugs.
And the crazy part about it is they're the ones who brought it in and taught us how to make this goddamn crack. You know what I
Big
mean?
facts, brother.
They,
Big
they
facts.
they brought in the coke. They bring in they supply. They're the suppliers, and then they lock you up on the back end. That's crazy as hell, man.
What did I say, Willis McCoy? They do the dirt to get the dirt on you. They do the dirt with you to get the dirt on you. And it was some of our people who was bringing that in. Certain people are actually taking their monikers and making themselves hip hop artists.
And then they got
those monikers. Rick Ross. You got one rapper in Philly took the first part. You got a rapper in Florida took the second part. You got Freeway in Philly. You got Rick Ross in Florida. That was one name.
Freeway, Ricky Ross.
Freeway is in Philly, the rapper, and then you got Rick Ross down in Florida. They actually divided the man's name up. One person took one part of the name, the other person took the other part of the damn name. And then you got niggas that are named themselves after a damn mass murderer. That's how sick some of our people are. Jim Jones, that was a wicked white man.
Same thing as Rockefeller. He was another wicked one.
You know what Rockefeller died of?
Exactly, yes, sir.
You know what he died of? But they call themselves Rockefeller. They take this, they take themselves and name themselves after the worst of our enemy. They'll call themselves, we take a moniker and make a moniker after somebody. I mean, come on. You got like a Scarface. You got all these different people who were that our people would take and name themselves a rap artist named after that person.
That's what I was gonna say. And while they were doing the drug thing and had us on the street, they had Hollywood and the entertainment and rappers, glorifying the goddamn lifestyle. That didn't help. Everyone wants to be Scarface. Like you mentioned Scarface, Tony Montana, Scarface too. They want to be the drug king.
That's what Chuck D said. He said a rhyme, a bar, like he said, that's why I hate that Scarface flick. Not Brad Jordan, but that Al Pacino shirt you're sporting. He don't hate the rapper. He just hate that Scarface flick, glorifying that.
Yeah, I mean, they the ones that taught us all that, man, how to be gangsters and pimps and hustlers. They glorified it, man. They could have glorified being a farmer. Everybody would have been a damn farmer.
Yeah, but some of our people were in cahoots. Now, I'm not going to deny that. Some of our people were willing participants in bringing forth and ushering in what happened, because they had, back in 89, 90, they had a meeting with the record executives with the prison industrial complex. And that's when they married the jail culture, the gangster culture. All we see today in hip hop started with that meeting. And our people need to understand what happened. Because prior to that, everybody came out with spitting lyrics that will actually make us move when something happened.
Yo, man, I'm sorry, man. I gotta say, man, we're at a low state right now, man. I mean, for a person like a Nas X,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
to get any kind of like, that's pretty
Of
funny,
course,
man. I mean,
of course, he's forced on the Lil Nas X is forced on the people.
oh no, let me add to that. Let me add to that.
Go ahead.
Dwayne Wade to get
Yeah,
away with the bullshit he getting away.
he on that nonsense too. But Lil Nas X is actually forced on our people, bro, and forced on the people in general because, like I said before, Lil Nas X is on TV. The only time you see him is on TV. But no, he's not doing concerts, packing those stadiums. No, nobody's going to see them. Nobody's going to see Lil Nas X in no concert. Nope. Nope. He's not selling no tickets. He's forced on us as propaganda on television. But he's not doing no concerts. And guess what? He wasn't rewarded what he was doing for what he was doing. And he's very upset about that. Because when they started having these award shows, he didn't win nothing. Rightfully so, because the music is trash. It's trash. I know it's trash. I haven't heard anything, but it's trash. I seen one thing he did when he hacked a Michael Jackson performance. Just terrible. He's way less than marginal talent forced on the people. And everybody see it, and that's why he's going to be short-lived. Very short-lived.
They had that dude on Sesame Street, man.
Crazy.
Somebody who was dancing with the devil.
But that's what they're pushing, though, brother. They're pushing satanic rituals and satanic foolishness on the babies, and to have him among babies, nah, that's crazy to me. He don't have no business being around no babies. Not when he doing the foolishness he do, devil sneakers and.
We all know he has a job to do. I'm not going to.
He's doing his job.
That's all. I mean, he's just playing his role.
And that's why I said he's doing his job, and he's being forced on the people. He's forced.
Yeah, I'm more focused on how we're reacting to it. And I mean, when you said that he's not selling out any concerts, I'm like, okay, all right. We didn't go for that play. All right, cool.
He's not doing no concerts. He's being forced on the people on TV.
Yeah, man, it's some strange times we living in, brother. That's crazy, weird, strange, just peculiar. Never in my imagination would I have ever thought that life would be where we are right now. Never. As a child growing up, never, ever. This is
And
back.
I'm gonna say this real briefly. This is the second crime that the Catholic Church has got away with. The Brother Enemies Public talked about the first crime a while ago, which we ain't gonna reiterate on. We already know, but this is the second crime that they admitted to. Y'all got it.
Yes, sir. Exactly. You right about that, OG. And what's crazy about that, transferring cardinals, transferring priests and stuff when they do babies wrong, when they mess with children, transferring them to a different place and all that other stuff. Now, they need to make that shit right too. That's among other things that should be, dealt with. With denouncing the doctrine of discovery.
Yeah, that would be a reputation. I mean, reverting back to that first thing you was talking about, that would just be a reputation that I would never want to be associated with. And the way that they deal with that accusations and they just nonchalant about it, like they're all right with it. It's just, which you know they are, but I'm just saying that's a tell. They telling on themselves right there.
Yep.
Because there's no way I would want to be associated with that. I could see if, yes, I'm a priest and I have to abstain from a certain lifestyle, fine. But you might hear that, okay, me and the nun, we got, you know what I'm saying? We snuck off one day. We couldn't, but you ain't gonna hear nothing else. Like,
yes, sir.
And real quick, it's sad how, some of the people aren't seeing what's going on because they're agreeing with everything this corporation is doing. And most things are wrong that this corporation has been doing, but these people are still agreeing with it. And those, like I said, those are the people I be wary of. You know what I mean? This corporation has been admitting to do crimes against humanity, and you're still
Yes.
pushing. We got
Yes.
to do what this corporation tells us to do.
Yes. Yes. Because if you're not punishing those who are committing these crimes against humanity and against children, that's complacent to me. If you're not punishing them, all you're doing is transferring them to another place. It's like, that's sickening to me. They should be punished for doing that, ousted, ostracized for doing that, not, transferred.
and in order to have a successful civilization, you do have to have a zero tolerance on certain things. Otherwise, it's only gonna, it's gonna just spread. It can ruin your whole foundation, man. So you have to have a zero stat, on certain things, because then everyone will get out of control. It's just that you see someone do something, and that's, the other one thinks it's all right, and then it's your civilization is gone. It's done. It's over. So you see the problem. Like yesterday, I listened when I was listening to the show and how you handled that situation. I could respect that, because you have to, have a zero tolerance on certain things in order for things not to go in certain direction.
Yes, sir.
So, so I respect that, man. In order for you to maintain a certain level of respect, you just have to nip it right there. Can't let it get out of control, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, I respect that, man.
Exactly.
And then when somebody comes on and tell you your education level, that's mind blowing right there. You don't even know me. How do you know my education level?
Exactly. And that's what happens when people, believe in their character.
And that's no different.
In their
That's no
avatar.
different than somebody telling us we came from Africa. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, when some people actually believe in their moniker, in their character. They make this name up for themselves, and they actually believe that's who they are, and they want to come in and enforce their will on other people. Everybody don't want to hear your opinion about stuff, and when you get your eureka moment, some people so overzealous and so eager to spew their foolishness and their madness. You're going to tell me, an older man who lived longer than you and more than likely been around the world in different places more than this young brother. He going to come and try to tell me that I don't have an enemy. And whoever taught us that we have an enemy are idiots or ignorant. No, how just like we said earlier, Rose McCoy, about when you see something, just because you're not looking at it or you ignore it, doesn't mean it's not there. You can turn your head away from it all you want. It doesn't mean it's not there. And I witnessed certain things, and it's not in the past. It's right to this very present. I have a video I'm gonna post later. You can't tell me that we don't have a goddamn open and consistent enemy. They've been consistent with how they treat our people. We have an enemy. We are nobody's enemy. Why? Because overall, we're not fighting nobody. We're not fighting nobody. People fighting us. We fight each other. But we're not fighting nobody. Perhaps we need to reevaluate that, but we're not fighting nobody. But we have people who are our enemy, who don't want good for us and show us on a daily basis, who use their perceived power against us because they get perceived power. They want to exercise power over us and expect us to straight up capitulate to their perceived power. The worst person to have perceived power is a punk. A punk is going to exercise their perceived power to the fullest. And it's a dangerous person. A punk with perceived power.
Yeah, they wouldn't even respect the position, man.
Exactly. Exactly. Why? Because most people who have that perceived power want obedience and compliance. Forget what the law is as a law enforcement officer. He wants you to, and if you know your rights, they're gonna hold that against you. They want you to listen to them, comply. Their main thing is to get you to comply and obey their perceived power. And that's the problem I have with a punk having perceived power. Why I call him a punk? Because he wouldn't approach me without the duty belt on. He won't. He won't say nothing to me without that gun on.
And more than likely, he would probably be a liar and a deceiver because he's a coward.
Exactly. Exactly. He won't. He's a liar because if you see how they lie and fabricate charges against people, put people in jail for not obeying them as opposed to committing a crime. You know what I'm saying? You put people in jail for not obeying you when they don't have to obey you. They don't have to listen to you. They don't even have to talk to you if they haven't committed a crime. Gotta talk to no cop. I tell people all the time, don't talk to them. They're trying to jam you up. Don't talk to them. Tell them that you're invoking your Fifth Amendment rights. And when you say that, they're supposed to stop questioning you. And anything outside of unwanted conversation is harassment. That's it. They'll try to tell you I'm not harassing you. If I don't want to talk to you and you constantly trying to talk to me, you're harassing me. Again, it's how people don't understand is how we deliver a message. Sometimes it's not the message. The message can be absolutely perfect, but some of us don't know how to deliver a message, bro. We leave stuff out, we add on and take away. And the nature of how some of us deliver a message is not good either. Because if you want somebody to gravitate towards your message, deliver it better. Don't deliver it in a way that like a grown man is not going to receive a message from somebody delivering it to him like thuggish, like you confronting him. Nah, I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't do that. I don't tolerate nobody's disrespect. If you think you're going to come among me and talk to me crazy, you seconds from getting a facelift. Hard ass uppercut. Don't disrespect grown ass man thinking that you're gonna come to a man because you think you know something and you're gonna tell a man what his life is, or a woman what her life is, because you think you know something that somebody don't know. Apply that shit to yourself then. That's the problem with a lot of these brothers and sisters, mostly brothers. And I say brother with quotes. They'll get on the platforms because somebody may not understand. They get up yelling and screaming and calling the brother out his name and calling him stupid and undermining him. That's not the way to get somebody to gravitate towards your information. That's not the way to do it. If you want somebody to gravitate your information, learn how to deliver it. Learn how to speak to people. Because everybody don't got to hear you. And everybody don't want to hear you. And some of these brothers are very fucking annoying with how they do things.
Or just lower your expectations, you know. You know, just lower that you know, you can't you can't rub people the wrong way, but yet think that everyone's gonna like you. I mean, so
Exactly.
just lower your expectations or choose a different route. But something's, you know, I'll try something else.
I'm saying people will listen to you better and more if you just learn how to speak to people. If you come around undermining people, somebody's incorrect with their information. All you have to do is give the correct information. You don't have to call the brother a dummy because you got the correct information. This brother.
Well, you know what? Just a little pushback on that. You know, there are some people that like to be spoken to that way in order for you to get their attention. Because I had a brother like that, man. I could talk all that, you know, regular, you know, conversation thing, and it just didn't get his attention. But if I start cussing at him and telling him he ain't shit, then that woke him up. So, you know, some of them could be sent to certain people that's the kind of language and that's the kind of you know, how they get down. So you never know.
I can't imagine meeting that type of brother that want that. You know, that's a brother or sister who's mentally ill who want to be spoken to like that.
No, some gangsters, man, that's just how they get down, man. That's just how they talk, man. They you know, that soft talk, something don't move them, man. You gotta rattle them up. You gotta get in them, man. So
you could be stern and strong with your teacher. I'm talking about the disrespect. I don't mind somebody being strong and stern, but when you start talking about you motherfuckers don't know shit, blah 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 blah, that's not how you speak to people, man. Because I'm gonna tell you, get the fuck away from me. And if we in physical with each other, like around each other, you can't come speaking to me like that. You go to sleep. Deliver your message better than that. And the only reason some of these Negroes get on these platforms do that because they on a platform like this, they won't speak to people like that in person. They get this virtual fortitude, this virtual heart.
oh yeah, definitely. You definitely could talk a lot of, you know, because you know most ain't gonna buy no plane ticket or, you know what I'm saying, and study you.
I'm gonna tell you I'm not. I'm gonna say at the same time telling you better not pull up on me. I'm gonna tell you I ain't pulling up. You think I'm with somebody over this?
If I'm gonna do that to some YouTube or someone on here, man, I gotta be doing it and show up on Anthony Fauci doorstep or Donald Trump's doorstep. I mean, I want to get with the heavy hitters, man. I ain't got time to mess with the YouTube. They're not my enemy. Exactly. I want to show up on my enemy's footsteps. You know what I'm saying?
Not about to do that. I ain't. You know where I'm about to go pull up. I'm about to fly out to. No, I don't think so. Not me. Nope. I'll tell a joker I ain't pulling up on you, man. You better not pull up on me. Peace of Jewel 512. Salute to you. Salute to the fam, Dominique. Thanks for coming through. I wasn't even looking at the chat. But yeah, cats, you had cats that be going back and forth with each other. They talking about doing harm to each other. Man, please. Me, cat get disrespectful. I'm kicking them out. You give me a reason to kick you out, that's going to be the same reason I don't let your ass up no more. Because if you come in and be disrespectful on somebody else's platform, I just don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want you around me. That's it.
You only get what they say. You get a one time to make a first impression.
That's it.
So that's how you coming through the door. What's it gonna be like further down the road?
Exactly. It ain't gonna be no further down the road for me. If you give me a reason to kick you out, it's gonna be a reason why I don't let your ass on. That's it. Nope.
Yeah, that's one hell of a way to meet a person and want them to invite you back, you know?
Nope. Can't come through here no more. But bully tactics and the brolic crap, so-called brolic crap, don't work with me. It don't work with me. And because when I say something, I give information. In all reality, I don't give a damn if it resonates with a motherfucker or not, because you know.
Yo.
I see it like this, bro. I'm gonna say it. If it resonates with you, good. If it don't, hey, leave it where it's at.
Yeah, dude, though, right? Dude, I've heard dude's name before, so maybe his reputation precedes itself in the sense that maybe, you know, because I mean, OG, you know of dude, right? OG know of dude, because I mean, I remember when I first came in this little section, you know, one of the platforms I went on, he was over there, so I know he got a name in the streets, though, on these YouTube streets. No?
I think the brother kicked him off his channel before. You know, I just not tolerating disrespect. You know, you come being disrespectful, you on your way out. You know, he was being disrespectful from the door. He said, I don't mean to be an asshole. If you don't mean to be an asshole, why you being one? You're meaning to be one.
You always said that, though. There's a saying that you got since this little short time I've known you, man. You say, the moment that a person says something, what is it?
I said the second one, motherfucker, say with all due respect, you're about to You know that's the truth, Reels McCoy.
I know at the moment.
As soon as somebody said, with all due respect, about to disrespect you.
Yeah, man. In my short time knowing you, man, that's something that resonates with me. That's a word they've been using, but definitely one is stuck with me, man. That it's like I was like, I thought about it, like, and then for you to just throw it right there, man. Yeah. I don't mean to be an asshole. What did he say? He said
that was truth, though, bro.
Hold on, man. It's crazy as hell. He said the moment that a person say with all due respect, man, they're about to disrespect you, man. That's crazy.
That's the truth, though. I found that, Rose McCoy. Whenever somebody say that, they're about to disrespect you. Which is disrespectful as hell. And they say with all due respect. And then disrespect you to the highest.
Oh man, yeah, man. That holds true. It definitely holds true, man. You got to watch out for that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I'm about to end this stream, brother. As always, Willis McCoy is always good,
Hey, man.
brother. I appreciate you coming up.
Appreciate you having me in this public, man. You do good work, man. I always, I'll support you, man, all the way, man, because, you're echoing what I'm saying, man. Appreciate you.
Indeed, I appreciate you coming up, and I appreciate your contribution, brother, to the conversation.
All right, man.
I go live, brother. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. You have a good one, man. You
Do the same, brother.
keep being you, man. Keep being you, bro. All right. Yeah.
Peace, good brother. Peace to my brother, Big Dog Philly OG. Thank you for coming and your contribution to the conversation. Thank you for giving me the information that made this stream possible, good brother. Also, thanks to the brother Real Lives for coming through. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks to the brother King Genocide for coming through. I appreciate that. Thanks to Jewel 5112. Thanks to Dominique for coming through. Thanks to Bronze Flat Power God for coming through. Thanks to Rob Bourne for coming through. Peace. The perfect pure. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate that. Let me see who else came through. Thanks to the homie, the good brother, the Taz Show. Thank you for coming through. I gotta find out who's blocking some of my subscribers, because some of my people saying they're blocked on the channel. I don't appreciate that. Thanks for Solitium. That name looked like it's in another language. I got the first one. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate that. Thanks to the homie, the brother Smoke Signal. Thanks for coming through, brother. Thanks to Mrs. The Enemy's Public, the wife. I am on the way upstairs. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.